You asked, and we delivered. Introducing the Dave Moss Tuning Subscription Channel on YouTube. All of Dave's premium content for one low price. Put one of the best suspension tuners on the planet to work for you. Find the link in the description box below and get started today.
I've been riding in Colombia. I'm racing the National Championship of Superbike there 2 years ago now. This is my second year back in Colombia. And I got a call Saturday night by Danny and Mick, and they were like, hey, you want to come to Laguna? I'm like, why? But like, we have a spot for you to ride this weekend, and I got really excited and said yes right away. Yeah, first time in a Honda ever. Motocross, supermoto, whatever. I never ride a Honda before. It's been quite an adventure. It's a different bike, and we're looking for a good setup for tomorrow in the race. They had something a little bit different from Jake to me. It worked good, and we're like trying to improve that every time we get on the track. And we didn't have a lot of testing and not a lot of track time here in Laguna, so we are trying to make the most out of it. I haven't seen the time, but I think I'm P15. I know it's a hard class, and our goal was to be in the Super Pole, but we couldn't do it today, so we are going to talk a little bit to see what we can do to the bike and what can I do to go a little bit faster tomorrow. No, the first time we went out, it was kind of good. We made some changes and we went worse, but then at the end of every practice, we went a little bit faster, and we went like a tenth faster than in first practice, a second faster than in first practice. So we are good. We are in a good progress.
I wouldn't say I'm crying a river. I'm pretty excited for Jake, actually. It's a pretty good honor for him, and honestly, I feel like it's an honor for me that we've been working with Jake, and we've kind of gotten him to the point where he's able to step up to World Superbike. So we're all pretty excited about it. It's a real good thing for him, and it's a real good thing for us. And luckily, we were able to rope Tomas Puerta into coming in and riding the bike, which is pretty exciting. He rode for us several years on 600s, and he's been riding down in Colombia here the past couple seasons. And as soon as we figured we needed a rider, we figured he'd be a great person to use as a substitute. He's a great rider to work with. He's always enthusiastic, always rides at 100%. He's got really strong feedback on the bike, which makes setup a lot easier because he's very precise with what he wants the bike to do. So he's the type of rider you make a little bit of a change. You change a preload a little bit, you change a ride height a couple millimeters, and he can tell the difference. So it's nice to work with a rider like that when you can make a small change and he comes back, he's like, oh, the bike's way better or the bike's way worse, and he's got a definitive feel for the motorcycle, which definitely makes your job easier as a crew chief. A little bit of both. So we started them chassis-wise with Jake's setup, like the actual geometry of the bike and the spring rate. We basically started the thing exactly how we left Miller, or Utah Motorsports Campus as it's now called. We came straight from there to here with the same chassis setup. We made some changes in the electronics, like some of the throttle mapping, some of the engine brake mapping, some of the clutching setups and things like that, because Jake has a pretty dramatic preference in one direction, and Tomas kind of has a preference in the opposite direction for how they like the bike to feel going into the corner. So we kind of made a relatively educated guess, for lack of a better term, on what we thought Tomas would like, and it seems like those changes were pretty close, and we've kind of fine-tuned them a little bit over the course of the day today, but those specific settings seems to be pretty good. He seems to like them pretty good. We're making some pretty dramatic changes, but I would say it's more of a methodical progression going in one direction or the other direction. We're just continuing to do that same kind of thing. The crazy thing is both Jake and Tomas had the same comments as to how the bike feels, but it's turning out that the settings that are correcting it were direct opposites between what the two riders wanted. They had a particular sensation on how the bike felt on entry, and the setting that made it work really well for Jake, we're having to go the exact opposite direction with those same settings to make it feel better for Tomas, so it's quite interesting.
To schedule a remote tuning appointment for you and your bike with Dave via text, email, Facebook, etc., contact Dave on Facebook or by email, dave@davemosstuning.com.